Mr. Freeze.
The thought of killing a man should turn my stomach. But as I look at you now, I feel nothing. Only feel the icy touch of a man whose emotions run as cold as the blood in his veins.
Mr. Freeze's name is Victor Fries, and what he was a rogue scientist that got into an accident, and from my knowledge, I believe got his wife also caught up into it, and his whole mission is to basically save his wife from the coma that was put onto her and the repercussions that he gained from the accident is that he can only survive in cold temperatures. But the one thing I love about Mr. Freeze is that he's not really a villain, man. He's kind of misunderstood, if you will. You know, he just wants his girl back, which who don't want their lady back if you lose her. But you know, he's not somebody that could be like super villain. He's somebody that could kind of get some lore in this universe, and I could see him be one of those characters that, not saying he could be a good guy, but you know, maybe sacrifice himself in a greater goal or whatever, help Batman or whatever. But I think Mr. Freeze is a nice character to introduce in DC Universe with the whole fantastical and everything. I think the whole cold gun will be nice, quirky for this verse.
You will bring me Nora, or you will die. General Zod.
Krypton was destroyed when its sun exploded.
So no Kryptonians survived to release the Phantom Zone prisoners when their sentences ended.
So when the last Phantom Zone projector was discovered on New Genesis, the United Planets paroled every single planet, as each one had been trapped in the zone for over 1,000 years.
When my parents were unjustly imprisoned in the Phantom Zone, not even my mother knew that she was already pregnant. As no one ages or dies there, she had the honor of unknowingly carrying the scion of General Drew Zod for a millennium.
Number 2. Now I know I mentioned him earlier, but General Zod. I personally want to see General Zod, and I'm gonna get a little bit off topic here, but from how they're dealing with the Superman story and how they're leading into Superman 2 Man of Tomorrow, it looks like they're heading into maybe New Krypton. So obviously they're going to change things around. I think if there is a General Zod out there in this universe, maybe he's in the Kandor City that Brainiac takes from Krypton, or there's a Phantom Zone.
Talking to yourself or someone else? I'm guessing the latter, which means you're suffering from zone sickness.
On Kandor, and then they let the prisoners out, and Drew Zod is one of those people that come out. But the one thing I said about Drew Zod, well, General Zod, is that you can utilize him in a Magneto way. Like, he's not really a bad guy. He just wants a home for his people, and he really fights for that. So I think they should hone in on that part instead of making him like, yo, let's take over Earth. This our birthright. Like, nah, relax. I think they should make him more of a like, yo, maybe see the lens of Kal-El.
Look at this. We could have built a new Krypton in this squalor.
Next character I want to speak about is
SHIVA. Her skill is unmatched.
Lady SHIVA. So Lady Shiva is a female combatant within DC Universe. And from my knowledge, she is, I'm gonna say, top 3. But she gives Batman a run for his money majority of the times. Her daughter is Cassandra Cain. I'm saying that right? Yeah. Which is Black Bat or Orphan, for those that don't know. That's her name right now. She's Batgirl. She's the one with the face. The black face. But that's her kid. And Lady Shiva has many run-ins with many superheroes like Green Arrow, the Birds of Prey, Batman, the Bat Family. She has put belt to ass on most of these people. But I think she could be a nice recurring character. You know, maybe show her in, let's just say they doing Deathstroke and Bane. Throw her in there. I'm just saying, you know. But that's a nice recurring villain that they could throw around in many things. Now the number 4th character, I'm gonna get a little bit, now I'm getting obscure, is Parallax. Now I know there's a couple people who probably do know about Parallax. For those that don't know, Parallax was just evil Hal Jordan, and as time went on in life, they changed Parallax to be the embodiment of fear, which is the Yellow Lantern ring. And before DC ever even got off his feet, before we had Superman, I've always said we knew that we was getting 2 Green Lanterns in the Lantern show. So I always said, like, yo, Parallax could possess other people. So one of the characters I was first saying before anything got going was Alan Scott, because I want to see Hal Jordan, you know, but as of what we seeing, it don't look like it. But I want to see Parallax possess other characters outside of maybe Green Lanterns. So maybe Cyborg, Superman, so forth on, you know, other characters and whatever, whatnot.
When and if to use it, that's the whole ball game, Junior.
Now, 5th character I would like to speak about, another obscure character, AMON Sir.
You so-called guardians stole my birthright. My father's ring belonged to me, not that Earth barbarian. When the last of the Green Lanterns dies by my hand, I shall then destroy you.
AMON Sir is Abin Sur's son. Now, from the comics and stuff, he was originally jealous of Hal Jordan, but with this DC universe and how they kind of setting this stuff up, it seems like Hal Jordan is going to be passing it on to John. Hopefully not. I hope that they have 2 rings in this show, please, but just for the sake of, let's just say they are, I can see AMON Sir be like a surrogate son to Hal. Like, yo, that's my man's from space or whatever, and he could be somewhat jealous of John Stewart. Be like, yo, why you didn't think of me? I'm the son of the guy who came to you. I can see AMON Sir be the jealous one, and hopefully he becomes commander for the Yellow Lanterns. Or, like I was saying earlier, he could be possessed by Parallax. But I would like to see him. Another character I want to see, keeping in more space, is Mongul. Now, Mongul is a tyrant in space. Let's just say another Darkseid type. But his whole thing is that he wants to conquer the whole galaxy. And from my knowledge, he has War World. And let's just simplify it. Let's just say he sits in the Death Star. He has a Death Star within this universe, in DC. And I think they could use him in a Lanterns, or maybe a space arc. I don't know how they're going to do this universe, but from James Gunn's mouth, he said that he wants to do like a Star Wars type beat. And if you know how Star Wars is, They have stories stories here, stories in the past, present, future. You know, they can keep MONGUL, you know, for a threat with Superman maybe in the future, or whatever the case may be. But I would like to see MONGUL. We've seen his sister in Suicide Squad 2 manga, but they treated her like cannon fodder, which was not really that well to me. Next character I want to see is IMPERIEX Prime. So IMPERIEX, I know people probably don't know who this is, but he is a Legion of Superheroes villain, Superman villain as well, but he has like the ability of the Big Bang, and he has like a cosmic armor. He's another Darkseid type, let's just say that. But I always said MCU got their ideology for Thanos from this guy. I know a lot of people say Thanos is a copy of Darkseid, but his ideology within MCU, that whole create the new, wipe the whole old universe and make a new one, that's IMPERIEX. He's the one that wanted that. He comes from the future, comes to the past, fuck with shit. You could definitely do him, especially that they're doing Booster Gold. One thing I've always said with Booster Gold and just the whole future aspect, if they do Reverse Flash, and let's just say they do Legion of Superheroes, and let's just say they do Batman Beyond, I've always said, just to not make it so confusing, how about you throw all of those future characters in one timeline? And if you want, kind of do like a Days of Future Past story with IMPERIEX, or someone from the future though, you know, I think that would be a nice character to use that for, and Booster Gold could be the gateway to this character. Now the next character I would want to see is a little bit more smaller. If we get past this year, we get through 3 years of DC, you could definitely use this villain in a Nightwing show, or even a Batman show, or Bat Family, whatever the case may be.
Coming for you, Bat! Coming to make you perfect! Big happy pig, glad. Pig gets to play with flesh, make it look pretty after death.
Professor Pig is a surgeon in DC, but he has a fixation on like human perfection. The guy that was invincible, the guy that was making animatronics, sort of like him, always wanted to take, you know, diseases out, or not diseases, but you know, tumors, shit like that. If you had a fucked up arm, he was the guy like, yo, I'm gonna take all that shit out, but take your emotions out, take your will out. Like, he's that guy. He's a very sick fuck. I think it would be nice to throw him in Nightwing, or maybe Green Arrow, but someone grounded. Even, yo, because I've always even said this character could get a show. The Question. Yo, James Gunn. I'm getting off script. If a nigga see this right here from DC, yo, do The Question and Professor fucking Pig. But anyways, another villain I would want to see is Prometheus. Now, I know people seen Prometheus in Arrow.
Searched. Your son is not here.
We gotta get my gear, we gotta move.
You find Chase, you find my son. Not so sure about that, Hoss. Hello, Oliver. Welcome back to Purgatory.
I didn't really watch Arrow. I ain't really like the whole copy and paste of Christian Bale Batman, so I didn't really tune into Batman, but I watched CW stuff. Prometheus is a character. His name is something Holt. I forget his last name. I forget his name. But he is a replica of Batman. Let's just say Batman had a bad day. His parents were criminals and they saved up money and the law caught up to them, killed them, and he devoted his life to getting back at the justice system. So he used his parents' resources to train himself, teach himself languages and whatnot. He has a mask that's able to watch people fight and copy and basically like evaluate the situation. Like Hobbs and Shaw, Idris Elba character. Basically like that. Like super soldier Batman type shit. But, and I ain't saying super soldier, just very prepared. He's very prepared for the situation at hand. This character, I think, with James Gunn introducing much more lesser known characters this early. I've always said by the time we get to Justice League, we'll be like 20 characters in Justice League Unlimited by the time of Justice League 1. By the time of Justice League 1, we will have, like I said, at least 20 people around. So by the second movie, I always said you could change up the teams. I always said Justice League 1, 2, you don't have to use the same 7. You know, I always said Justice League 1 should be a Superman-led movie, 2, a Batman-led movie, 3, a Wonder Woman-led movie, just to allow them to run the show. And like I said, they could change the team for the sole purpose of it's so many people around, we could in and out, whatever the case may be, per the situation. So Prometheus, I think, will be good for a Justice League 2 movie, just to test Batman and his knowledge. And they could do the Tower of Babel, the animated movie, Justice League Doom, through him. But, you know, change the team or make it a little bit more, less grounded, a little bit more grounded team. But some people that, you know, impressive enough that Prometheus does take down, and Batman has to structure up for this guy. I want to speak about Darkseid as well. I want to see Darkseid in this universe, and not so much like a copy and paste of that excuse me, of Thanos, but you know, he's a conquering menace. He just wants to conquer the galaxy. He wants to just control the galaxy all at once.
The anti-life equation. My gift to you.
He wants to use the life equation to just simultaneously mind control the whole universe, all at Darkseid's will. So I think I don't want to say we've been introduced to Darkseid, but we know that Mr. Miracle is getting a show, an animated show coming out. I'm pretty sure most likely come out a little bit after Superman 2. But if they are doing Mr. Miracle, most likely they are. Darkseid will have to be within the show, but he's been stated that he will not be the main villain. I don't want to believe that because Darkseid's end all be all, but I could see him be sidelined for other villains, but he will have a effect within this universe because there's no way they won't have him at the end game. I can't see that. I can't believe that. But things can be changed or whatnot. But Darkseid is somebody I would want to see in this universe. Maybe not through Superman, Lanterns. There's many ways they could show him, but Darkseid, I would want to see him. Now, I said Darkseid might not be the end all be all, but like I said, he will be there at the end of the DCU. I believe they will use him for their final fight or whatever the case may be. But the big bad that I truly believe that they will be using is Vandal Savage. I think Vandal Savage will be in this universe and be in this universe for a very long time. With the whole 300-year aspect that James Gunn has stated many times.
At the same time, we're introducing a whole new world, which is a lot of fun. You know, we're in an alternate reality where superheroes have existed for 300 years.
I am old, older than the human race.
I know that you believe this to be true.
It is true. 80,000 years ago, I was living in what is now the island of Sumatra. One night, the sky lit up with streaks of fire, meteors. One meteor fell to Earth in my valley. My compatriots ran, but it was very cold, and the glowing stone was warm. I slept there, bathed in the meteor's strange radiations, and when I awoke the next morning, I was forever changed.
I think that was a dead giveaway. I think James Gunn's James Gunn saying 300 years was kind of a giveaway, because I was trying to say, like, who could be the first recorded metahuman 300 years ago? Wonder Woman comes around the 1900s to 1940s. You have, I was saying maybe Dr. Fate. I was maybe saying even Jonah Hex, but he's a regular guy. So I couldn't really figure out, like, who would they be using outside of Vandal Savage. And if you know from Vandal Savage, he's not just 300 years old. He's, from how he stated, older than Earth. He's seen Earth in his youngest years go through. He was there. And I think that will be the main driving force, main antagonist within this universe. Vandal Savage is the villain. I think will be the villain for everybody, not just the heroes. I think for the villains too. I think he will be like, yo, that guy's a problem. And I think he's the one that will put Earth on the universal map in DC. So I think that will be the real big bad of this verse, and we'll get Darkseid through him, MONGUL through him, whatever the case may be. But I think he will be the big bad. But like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Have a good night.